Hey guys, Sean Bougie, surplusfundsriches.net. This video is going to be about one-liners, both one-liners that you can use with surplus funds and flipping property to either steer the conversation back to where it needs to be or to actually close the deal out. The other part of it, and this is going to be interesting for a lot of you guys because it's kind of a different take on it, the other part of it is going to be one-liners that people are going to throw at you and how you need to respond to them. So one of the things I hear a lot is you'll nice and easy, never lose your cool, ever. Don't lose your cool and never cuss. Okay? All you're doing is giving them cannon fodder. You're giving them a reason to be upset. Don't go down that road. What I get a lot is we'll explain the whole process and then someone will ask for something to be explained that's been explained already again. And you'll try to explain it again. Now, when they hit the third time they're asking, well, you're hitting the third time you're going to explain it when you've been extremely lucid, you've been extremely upfront and easy to understand. You need to go, and there's a couple different ways you can approach this, but sometimes at that point they're messing with you a little bit and you need to go, okay, I'm going to answer this. This is one of the responses you can give. And guys, I know a lot of you guys are going to think I'm being hostile and aggressive, but you need to take control of the conversation. That's it. You want to be a salesman. You do. You want to be a salesman in this instance, not an order taker. And people are they're going to knock you down if you let them. All right. So if you're getting a feeling like they're doing it on purpose to mess with you or see if they can trip you up, there's two responses. One of them is, Mr. Johnson, we already covered this. I'm not in the habit of repeating myself. Now you notice I spoke slowly. I made sure it was a nice even tone. I went a little lower, okay? Because I wanted him to understand that this was a voice of authority. And look, it doesn't have to be a guy to get a voice of authority. Women have a voice of authority too. You guys know what I'm saying. They have a voice of authority they can use on you. Use that. The other way to handle it is to joke with it, okay? So if you've answered something 3 times, hey, are you punking me? Because I just answered this like 3 times already. Are you messing with me a little bit? And just see and laugh as you're doing it like I just did. Are you messing with me a little bit? Because you'll get a true response at that point. If they're cussing at you and they won't stop cussing at you, or they just fly off the handle and start shouting, whatever it is, anything, here's what you need to do. You need to go, hey, you need to keep an even tone. And here's the mistake 99% of you guys make out there. You stop talking when they jump in and start shouting again. Don't. Have you ever seen somebody that's won an argument well before? You ever seen it on TV where they're interviewing somebody and they're kind of being hostile toward the person they're interviewing? The person that wins is usually one that keeps their cool, but also isn't going to be shut down. So when they start yelling at you, you just continue talking and you go, listen, I am not going to be spoken to this way, so perhaps we should have a conversation at a later date when we can have a rational conversation. Now, I would not use the rational part of that. I wouldn't use that with a woman because that's kind of one of those, that's like telling a woman to get over it. My opinion, right? You really don't want to use the word rational because that comes across as an attack. If it's a woman if it's a woman, I wouldn't have said rational. If it was a woman, I would say a normal conversation. I wouldn't say rational because too many people have made or portrayed women as being irrational or hysterical, and they're kind of tired of it. There's a couple other things here. Let's talk about one-liners you can use on people. Maybe they said, hey, why don't I do this myself? Sir, you're welcome to do it on your own. Go ahead and fill out a claim or if it's in a state where they have the motion, hire an attorney and go get that out. You're welcome to do that. Now, I always tell you guys not to beg the question. That is begging the question, but there's really no other way to save it at this point. If they're questioning on that, you just go, yeah, you could do that. No problem. Oh, well, why do I? Because they'll always say, why do I need you then? Well, I use attorneys, even if they're not needed, to make sure that we have somebody that can argue if there's a counterclaim. All right. And also somebody that's going to push the court to get it out. I don't know about you, Mr. Johnson, but I found that the court listens to attorneys a lot more than they'll listen to the general public. Now listen, you're talking to someone who the last time he had a run-in or she had a run-in with an attorney They lost their property. They don't want to deal with an attorney. The other thing is, since we use a structured buyout, which of course ups us our reputation and our credibility and our ability to get it done, the conversion rate, because we give them 10% of the gross amount being held within 10 business days, 2 weeks after they agree to our contracts and we get them back, we send a mobile notary. Because we do that, we have a lot more credibility. And that's something that we can throw out there too. The other thing is, sir, we're going to give you 10% now. Within 10 business days, 2 weeks, you're going to get a check for $2,600, and then you'll get the rest of whatever we agree to, right? The percentage on the back end or the amount of money on the back end. You'll get the rest of that when we successfully get it out of the court. A lot of you guys listening to this, a light bulb just went off in your head. And the reason it just went off in your head is you've been calling people who don't believe you because you're not telling them where the money is. We tell them where the money is because we can, because we still have a hook. We're using an attorney at our expense, taking complete all that on us on our own, right? We're on the hook for that. And we're giving them 10% of the gross amount being held up front. That's kind of a big deal. Another thing you're going to run into is people, and guys, I'm giving you examples, but you can use these one-liners back in other instances. You'll kind of know in your head, you know what, I need to say this to this guy, right? So sometimes they'll say, I want 99% and you can keep the other 1%. And it's a $30,000 retrieval, right? $300. It's not good to get into that. I talked about this also with flipping property, and I'll touch on that in a second. You don't want to get into all that, all right? I just say, I can't do that. I have costs and ongoing costs, and I can't do that. This is my best offer. If you can't take it, I respect that. Hope you have a great day. I've enjoyed talking to you. Take care, right? That's it. Walk away. If you're not willing to walk away, you are going to lose in this business. You're going to have no credibility, and they're going to walk all over you because they know you're going to do whatever it takes to put the deal together, even if you lose money. Don't lose money. On the flipping side, you'll give people, I used to, and I said this in another video, I used to tell people, hey, I'd give you this much money because it's going to be this much to fix it up, and it's going to be this much for this, and it's going to be this much, even though I wasn't, usually I don't fix it up. But then they come back and they'd argue about that. I don't want to get into all that. This is how much money I can give you, and I can close it in a week or less. And all I got to do is record the deed, pay off the taxes if it's a tax sale, upcoming tax sale for a flip, and then I can send you the money. Just like an attorney, I've got to record the deed first and have ownership. I'm not going to pay taxes off before I own it. That would be stupid. I'd be paying taxes off for you. And then, because I need to do that, stop the foreclosure, and then I'll send you your money. As soon as I have all that done, and there'll be a contract specifying this, there'll be a mobile notary out there. I can get them out tomorrow. I'll probably pay you within a week. If they're staying in the house, I can say, you're welcome to stay an extra month at no charge. The way it's going to work, I was going to give you 50 grand, Mr. Johnson. I'm going to give you 10 grand up front now since you're in it and you want to stay a month. I'm going to give you 10 grand up front. I'll give you the other 40 when you're out. And by the way, for every day you're late, it's 2,000 less. Every day you're late getting out. 12 noon, June the 14th, 2023, you got to be out of the property or it's $2,000 for every day or portion thereof. Okay? It's the only way you get them out. So what else can you hear? What else do you get from these guys? One of the interesting things you're going to get is if you're going after a flip and it's pre-tax sale, you're going to get people saying, and you're not going to believe I'm telling you this, but people do believe this. I bought the property cash years ago, so I don't have to pay taxes. I paid that at the closing. You hear this more than you believe, guys. People come into a property, they inherited it or whatever, or they got it for cash, and they don't think they have to pay property taxes because before that, they were paying a mortgage that was escrowing the property taxes, so it wasn't a separate issue. So now they're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? I don't know what you're talking about. It's not foreclosing. Mr. Johnson, it's on the auction block right now. Let me confirm, this is the address. I'm not going to explain to you how property taxes work. You need to call your county because it's on the auction block, and you can look that up. Call your tax assessor if it's a tax foreclosure. Call your tax assessor and ask him. Tell him who you are and your property, and that's it. Now, if they go, I'm not doing that, I don't care, I'm not getting foreclosed on, have a nice day. Look, guys, I know a lot of you got in this business, both flipping property, pre-tax sale, and going after surplus funds to help people, but you can only help people as much as they let you. If they're not going to let you help them, get out of that conversation. You're done. Stop. Go to the next person that's actually going to allow you to help them. Now, I've had other people say, I don't appreciate you calling me. I know there's a surplus there, but I don't appreciate it. People shouldn't be able to make money off of this. This is ridiculous. I already lost the house, da-da-da-da-da. And usually through no fault of my own. That's what you hear. I lost the house, and now I feel like I'm getting taken advantage. I'm just, hey, man, if you feel that way, go do it yourself. I understand and respect that. And if they keep going, or if they want to impugn your integrity or give you a hard time, you guys know I have a hard time people doing that with me. If they want to give you a hard time about it, you just go, hey, I understand, you can go get it. The other thing you're going to hear is, I didn't get any notice of the foreclosure. You can hear that in surplus deals, and you're also going to hear it in addition to surplus deals, you're going to hear that in flips. I never got any information until just recently. Okay, so just so you know, Mr. Johnson, the court records every time they do a mailing, and they've recorded the mailings to the address on file with the tax folks and the address on file in the deed if it was different. And typically in some states, they actually even notify neighbors. So I understand and respect what you're saying, but it's very difficult to prove that in court. You're not getting the property back. So that's a nice way of me saying, okay, you're full of crap, knock it off, right? So here's where we are. Here's where we are. You want us to help you get some of that money back? There's your one-liner. They're going into foreclosure, tax foreclosure. Here's where we are. In 2 weeks, they are going to have a foreclosure auction on this property, regardless if you want it to happen or not. Here's where we are. You either need to sell it to somebody or pay off the taxes, or you are going to get kicked out of the house. What would you like to do? You're also going to get people complaining. The reason I lost the house, there's surplus funds there, let's say. The reason I lost the house is my ex was supposed to pay for this, and he or she didn't, and now I'm stuck, and it's not my fault. And I understand all that. I'm here to retrieve what we can. That's it. There's your one-liner, right? Same thing with I'm sorry to hear that. I'm trying to get you somewhere else with this, right? I'm trying to help you out. You want to talk about that? Because if you don't, you're going to hear about it for the next 15, 20 minutes, and you don't have time for that. Guys, I know how I'm coming across. I know a lot of you guys are going, God, he's a jerk. I would never. It's the general public. You got to be tough with the general public. The number one-liner, if somebody says something crazy or asks you to do something that you're not going to do, or they're trying to get you to cut what you want to make, the number one-liner is, no, I'm not going to do that. Let them ask you why. No, I'm not going to do it. Leave it at that. See what they say. If they ask you why, you go, look, I can't do it like that. I've given you what I can do. If you don't want to take that agreement, we're adults. We can part as friends, and I'm good with that. The other one-liner, and this is for both deed flips and for surplus, another one-liner for you, is if they say, well, I'm going to give you 2 more. 1, if they say I've already gotten a contract, either surplus funds or somebody buying their property pre-foreclosure, get out of that deal. Because they're going, I already have a contract, but I will talk to you. No, I'm good. If you've got another contract, I don't want to work with someone that's going to break a contract. Why would I go under contract with them? I'm good. If you're under contract already, give me a call if something falls through. Appreciate your time. Have a great day. That's it. They'll call you back. First of all, 99% of the time, they're full of crap. As far as on the deed flip, the flipping side, they don't have another contract on the property. They're lying to you, trying to see if you can come up with your best deal. Don't fall into that trap. Surplus funds, if they really do, don't poach somebody else's deal. Let it go through or not go through, and have them give you a call back. Now, if they call me back, all this is going into our database. If they call back and say, yeah, I want to work with you instead, we go, that's great. We're going to need proof that that other contract is void. So get that for me first, please. I'm going to need to be able to double check that that's been voided out. You got to be tough. Control the conversation. Here's the last one. Well, I'll do it, but you're going to come up to X percentage on me, or you're going to pay me this much money. No, I'm not. And they go, why? And here's the thing you get from people. Well, why wouldn't you take it? You're still making profit. Here's the deal, Mr. Johnson or Mrs. Johnson, whatever it is. Here's the deal. I get about 150 of these, or however many you get. 150 of these across my desk a week. If this one doesn't work out, I'm going to be okay. If you change your mind and want to work with me, give me a call. Thanks. Hope this has helped, guys.